After the Cell Saga in Dragon Ball Z, Gohan famously slacked on his training. While it is presumed he never fully stopped during the 7-year time skip, he at the very least wasn't consistent, which led to many problems going forward through the arc. Notably, this isn't the only time Gohan slacked on his training. In the 4-year time skip between the Buu Saga and Battle of Gods, Gohan has seemingly stopped training altogether, with Resurrection of F showing us the consequences of having a Gohan completely give up on training. However, what if Gohan didn't slack on his training during the 7-year time skip? What if Gohan never stopped training at all? I'm not saying make him the main character, rather, what if the same scholarly Gohan also made time to stay strong in order to protect the people he loves? A Gohan more akin to the one we see during the Tournament of Power arc. Well, our story starts in the Buu Saga, of course. But before getting into that though, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Only 20% of the people who watch these videos are subscribed, so hit that sub button so you never miss an upload. You can always unsub in the future if you change your mind. Going into the Buu Saga, the notable change would be, of course, Gohan's power, but also his control. A lot of his power loss in the Buu Saga was due to his lack of control over the rage and power he unlocked during the Cell Saga, which led him to be weaker than he was back then. Here, that isn't an issue. With Gohan training for 7 years alongside his studies, he's able to gain mastery over his own power and the Super Saiyan 2 form. This wouldn't be the only increase though. Notably, Goku and Majin Vegeta both surpassed the Gohan that fought Cell, but they can only do that in their Super Saiyan 2 forms as a minimum. This means that Goku and Vegeta, after 7 years of training, could only get ahead of Gohan from the Cell Saga by less than 2 times, since Super Saiyan 2 is a 2 times multiplier. What does that mean for Gohan? Well, considering his higher potential, and the fact that he was training alongside his studies rather than that being the main focus, we can confidently say that Gohan is at bare minimum 2 times stronger than his Cell Saga self. Now, that may seem low, and I definitely can see arguing higher, but notably, characters in Dragon Ball get their strongest when they train with a goal or target in mind. For example, Raditz is the threshold for Saiyan strength, and in a year, everyone gets to around or surpassing Raditz's power level because they have that goal in mind. The issue for Gohan is he's the top fighter after the Cell Saga. At this point, there are just no other characters even competing with Gohan in terms of battle power, so he has no goal to strive towards or overcome. I hope that makes sense, but even if you want Gohan to be a little stronger, that doesn't change too much. So let's just continue. Again, since this isn't a change to his character, High School Gohan isn't changed. He's just a stronger Great Saiyaman and a stronger high schooler. He would still meet Videl, Teacher Ki Control, and be blackmailed into joining the World Tournament. This is where things begin to change though. After Spopovich beats Videl within an inch of her life, Gohan's rage begins to surface. Not to a degree that he can't control, but it begins to target his next opponent, Kibito. Just like Shin, Kibito was strange. He's someone that could be responsible for the way Spopovich and Yamu are. He could be responsible for Videl being beaten so badly. This leads to Kibito asking to see the Super Saiyan form, and in his anger, Gohan says he'll do one better and turn Super Saiyan 2. The power is beyond anything Kibito could have imagined. Mortals should not be capable of this, and this makes Kibito even more nervous as he knows what the plan is. Supreme Kai struggles to hold Gohan in place, but is able to do so just long enough for Spopovich and Yamu to drain his power. The more power they drain, the easier it is for Gohan to be held by the Supreme Kai. From here, things fall back in line with the original story for a bit, as the flight to Bobby's ship is exposition and explanation for what's going on. The attack by Dabura is the same as before, getting both Piccolo and Krillin turned to stone and Kibito killed, but that's where the similarities end. When Goku and Gohan enter Babidi's ship, they are confronted by Pui, but before Vegeta can step up to fight him, the ship begins to shake violently. Down below, Babidi has put Gohan's energy into Buu's revival, and the power is enough to fill the gauge to full. As Pui is defeated by Vegeta, the Saiyans begin to sense the power that's causing the ship to shake, and the Supreme Kai tells them that this is Majin Buu. With no more fear of waking Buu early, all four of our heroes blast downwards and confront the monster head-on. When they arrive, they are just in time to see Dabura get turned into a cookie and be eaten by Majin Buu. The three Saiyans transform into Super Saiyan 2 and begin to attack Majin Buu, but Vegeta without his Majin power-up is quickly outpaced by Goku and Gohan. Vegeta pulls back as he's only getting in the way and has something else he can handle. Even with their combined efforts, it seems like Goku and Gohan just aren't enough, so Goku decides he has no choice and transforms into Super Saiyan 3. With the combined power of Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Buu is able to be defeated. While Goku and Gohan took care of Buu, Vegeta took care of Babidi. Having used a lot of power during the battle with Buu, Goku only had a short amount of time left before he would need to return to the afterlife. Gohan tries to reason with his father, telling him that they can collect the Namekian Dragon Balls and bring him back to life, but Goku refuses. Gohan says that his father was wrong back in the Cell Saga. Threats to Earth aren't only because of him. Buu proves that wrong, but this is not enough to sway Goku's feelings. With Gohan around and still training, the Earth will be in safe hands. It's his time to pass on now. Not trying to interrupt, the Supreme Kai asks if they could revive Kibito, who unfortunately lost his life at the hands of Dabura. Gohan says that they can, and Supreme Kai is ecstatic. He couldn't bear to lose another one of his companions. As thanks for their help and for reviving Kibito, the Kai offers to train Gohan, a reward that would be fitting for Goku and Gohan's desires. Gohan says he can't though, since he needs to be on Earth pretty often, but Shin says that that won't be an issue, since Kibito and Shin can teleport back to Earth whenever he needs to return. After thinking it over and Goku pushing the idea, Gohan accepts and begins to train under the Supreme Kai. Before Goku returns to heaven though, he asks Vegeta if he's okay with them not being able to fight. His pride slightly wounded, Vegeta admits that Goku is far beyond him as he is now. The fight would have been one-sided and ultimately pointless. Goku tells Vegeta not to think that things are so set in stone, and that if he's a good person, he may end up in heaven with a chance for them to fight again. Vegeta says he looks forward to it, and Goku is taken away by Baba. So, Goku returns to the afterlife, and Gohan begins his training. After training with the Z-Sword for some time, Supreme Kai throws a block of Kachin at it to test its power. Of course, the blade snaps instantly and releases Elder Kai back into the universe. He thanks them for freeing him, and as a reward, the old Kai says he will unlock Gohan's hidden potential. The process takes over a day, so Gohan has to wait for some time off from school, but when he can spend the time in the realm of the Kaioshin, he has his potential unlocked and achieves the ultimate form. The power is incredible, beyond anything he's ever experienced, and he wants that power to reach new heights to make his father proud. From here, time moves on until 4 years have passed since the Buu Saga, and the God of Destruction Beerus has awoken to find the Super Saiyan God. When Beerus finally remembers the name of his greatest rival, he has Whis search for the Saiyans, eventually coming across the Saiyan that killed Frieza, Son Goku, on the newly reformed planet of King Kai. This intrigued Beerus. A Saiyan with a body in the afterlife and on a god's planet is quite the unique combination. Perhaps he is the Super Saiyan God. Remember, Gohan would be back on Earth right now because of Bulma's birthday party. This means Beerus wouldn't know of the Hybrid Saiyan training with the Supreme Kai. Outside of Goku being dead, things continue the same way here, with Goku confronting and losing to Beerus, and Beerus heading to Earth and enjoying the party. Luckily, Boo has been completely defeated, so there's no one to agitate Beerus. This doesn't stop Beerus' curiosity though, as he asks not only Vegeta, but also Gohan about the Super Saiyan God. As the party goes on, Gohan keeps thinking about how they can find the Super Saiyan God for Beerus, and eventually he realizes they should use the Dragon Balls. The timing was great, as Beerus was starting to become bored with Earth, and without his greatest rival making an appearance, he was considering destroying the planet. Before he could, Gohan grabs the Dragon Balls and asks Beerus to wait just one more moment. It's then that Shenron reveals the Super Saiyan God ritual, and that 5 other Saiyans are required. Videl steps forward and reveals that she's pregnant, hoping that'll help, but even still, they only have 5 Saiyans total. That's when Beerus turns to Whis. "Seems they need another Saiyan. Go fetch him for me." Whis nods and flies away. Minutes pass, and eventually Whis arrives back on Earth, teleported there by a Goku, who no longer has a halo. While he didn't want to come back to life, he seems to have no choice at this point. With the 6 Saiyans collected together, the ritual is ready to be performed. They ask who will get the power of a god, and Goku looks to Gohan. But Gohan looks away. He tells his father that he's unlocked a power of his own. A power he wants to turn into a new, ultimate transformation like no one has ever seen. This ritual isn't for him, a half Saiyan. It's for the true Saiyans to achieve. Goku was a little surprised, but also respects Gohan's decision, so he steps up and becomes the Super Saiyan God as he did originally. With this, the Battle of Gods happens as it was always meant to, Goku being the first Super Saiyan God and Beerus' greatest rival. Beerus is satisfied when the fight is over and spares the Earth, eventually leading to Goku and Vegeta training under Whis as well. This would of course take us to Resurrection F, as Frieza is revived while Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan are off the planet. However, Gohan is never gone for long due to his family and his work, so he's back on Earth when Jocko comes to warn them of the revival of Frieza. They only have an hour to prepare, but the fighters are quickly assembled for the upcoming battle. When Frieza's ship lands, the foot soldiers flood the Earth, and the Z-Fighters do all they can to stop them. Luckily, they outclass Frieza's foot soldiers by a significant margin at this point, and even his higher level warriors are just no match for base Gohan. Eventually, it's down to Gohan versus Frieza. Bulma is going to call Goku and Vegeta to Earth, but Gohan says they won't need them. He's enough to handle Frieza. The battle between the Half Saiyan and the Emperor begins with base Gohan versus final form Frieza. The two seem close in power, but Gohan was holding back, testing himself and Frieza. Eventually, the two break apart, and Frieza transforms into his golden form. "I had planned to save this power for your father. The color was specifically picked to mock the idiotic Super Saiyan transformation. But I suppose killing his son with it will do." Frieza is now boasting a power in the realm of the gods, but Gohan has power in that realm as well. He flares his aura and transforms into the ultimate form. Frieza doesn't notice a difference, but when they begin to fight again, he can tell that something has changed drastically. This Gohan is noticeably stronger than him. This is something I actually messed up in the original version of this story. Ultimate Gohan, especially one who's been Ultimate for this long, should be stronger than Golden Frieza. Remember, after unlocking the Ultimate form again in Super, Gohan rivaled a pre-Tournament of Power Super Saiyan Blue Goku. That Super Saiyan Blue Goku would be way stronger than Golden Frieza currently. While I wouldn't necessarily say Gohan would be that strong now, as I explained earlier, the goal-oriented training issue, I would say that Gohan is, at the very least, beyond the capabilities of Golden Frieza, especially since Ultimate seems to lack stamina issues. So, without hesitation, Gohan ends Frieza once and for all, seeing the Tyrant as a threat to his planet and his family. Since Gohan doesn't compete in the Universe 6 tournament due to work in the original story, nothing changes with that arc at all. This takes us right to the arrival of Future Trunks, who comes bearing bad news from the future timeline. A doppelganger of Goku was destroying everything and even killed Future Bulma. This would of course lead to Goku and Trunks sparring, which catches the attention of Gohan, who's currently on Earth. He flies over to Capsule Corp right away as the fight ends, and just in time to witness the arrival of Goku Black. Black seems to be extremely interested in fighting Goku, but Gohan steps in front of his father and says he'll handle Goku Black. So, Base Gohan and Base Goku Black begin to battle. Both are just feeling each other out, trying to see the limits of each other's capabilities, but before the fight can get serious, Goku Black is pulled back to the future, beginning the mystery surrounding the Goku doppelganger. Of course, Goku Black destroys the time machine before he leaves the present timeline, so there will be a bit of time before Bulma can repair Cell's time machine in order to send Trunks back to the future. With the time machine situation sorted, Trunks sets his attention to Gohan, who seems to be far stronger than himself in just his base form. Gohan tells Trunks that he can access even greater power than this. He's especially aware of this because of the potential within present Trunks. Gohan tells his father and Vegeta that he'll take Trunks to the realm of the Kaioshin in order to have his potential unlocked as well. Vegeta says nothing, but does like the idea of Trunks solving his own problems, so he doesn't protest. Gohan and Trunks fly back to Gohan's home, and there they wait for the arrival of Shin, who comes to pick up Gohan for their regularly scheduled training. Gohan tells the Supreme Kai that he'd like Trunks to train with them for a short time, and the Kai agrees, so long as it isn't a too frequent thing. Once there, Gohan asks if the Elder Kai can unlock Trunks' potential, and after giving him a once-over, he says that'd be fine, since he really has nothing better to do anyway. So, the ritual begins. Of course, it will take over a day to complete, but the results are massively worth it. While Trunks and Gohan are in the realm of the Kaioshin, Goku, Beerus, and Whis confront Zamasu, and Bulma finishes repairing the time machine. So, after the ritual is complete, Gohan and Trunks are returned to Earth by Shin. Trunks bows and thanks the Supreme Kai for everything. Shin isn't sure that he's done all that much, but Trunks even means the future Supreme Kai who died in the battle against Buu. The fight with Goku Black is turning into the culmination of all of his own failures. Training with Gohan to unlock a transformation, being helped again by the Supreme Kai he let die, and facing Goku, the man who was supposed to save his future because he couldn't. All of Trunks' past failures were approaching fast, so Trunks had the weight of his entire timeline on his shoulders, and he could not let down the hopes of the people waiting for him in the future. The two Half-Saiyans head to Capsule Corp, where they ask Bulma if the time machine is ready. She says it is, but she still needs one day to finish fueling it. Gohan says this is perfect, and he brings Trunks to the lookout. Once there, Gohan says they'll use the Room of Spirit and Time to get one final year of training in. But Trunks immediately tells Gohan that he can't go in again because he already used the room for 2 years, so the exit would disappear. However, Dende walks up to them and interjects that Goku had asked for the room to be upgraded to accommodate longer usage, just in case they needed it in the future. In the original, Dende did this after repairing the time chamber from Buu's destruction of it, but here it's specifically requested by Goku. Gohan even tells Trunks that Goku and Vegeta had used the time chamber for 3 years straight recently, so they'll have no problems with it. Trunks nods at his master's current counterpart, and the two enter the Room of Spirit and Time for 1 day, training and evolving their ultimate forms to the point that they don't fear Goku Black in the slightest. As a quick aside for those of you that remember the original story I made, I took Whis out of this section for multiple reasons, but the most important is that Whis himself says he wasn't in the mood to train Goku due to all of the time travel stuff going on, so he'd have no desire to train Gohan and Trunks either. This was one of the many things that irked me about my original version of this story, so I hope you understand why it was changed. Okay, back to the video. When Gohan and Trunks exit the time chamber, they head back to Capsule Corp, where they're confronted by Goku and Vegeta, who want to go with them as backup. Trunks thanks them both, but says they can handle this without their help. Goku protests, saying that he wanted to fight against his double, but Vegeta stops him.
"Drop it, Kakarot! You said it yourself once. They can't rely on us forever."
Goku can't argue with that, so he agrees and wishes them good luck, but reminds them they'll always be around should they need help. Trunks thanks them both before getting in the time machine with Gohan and heading to the future. Once they arrive in the future, Gohan and Trunks flare their ki in order to get Goku Black's attention, and it works. Goku Black laughs, saying he's grown beyond their imagination, but he will still play with them regardless, as they can provide even further growth. Trunks tells Black not to underestimate them and goes after the Goku look-alike. In terms of base forms, it seems like they are dead even, but Goku Black knows that isn't true. He claps for Trunks and congratulates his growth, but tells him that this is a power he can't overcome with the transformations he's shown before. That's when Goku Black's ki disappears and he accesses Super Saiyan Rose. Trunks tells Black he's not the only one with a new trick and transforms into his ultimate form. The two begin to fight again, and it's clear that Trunks has the advantage, and Black just can't believe it. Mortal Ki, surpassing the God Ki gap, should be impossible. But this is why using Ultimate is so important. The power of unlocked potential isn't some godly power just because it comes from a ritual performed by a god. It still unlocks mortal potential, the very potential that Goku Black has been trying to snuff out. Black wouldn't get the opportunity to do so though, as Trunks has him on the ropes. Trunks sends Black flying backwards and charges a final flash to take him down once and for all. When the dust settles from the attack and the smoke clears, Black is still standing tall, and Trunks is shocked. Even more surprising is the being standing between them, Zamasu. While Gohan and Trunks don't know who Zamasu is yet, they are about to find out as Supreme Kai enters the timeline. Gohan is shocked to see the Kai appear next to him and asks what he's doing here. Supreme Kai says that Goku forgot to give them the Senzu before they left, and asked if he could deliver it. That's when Shin's eyes wander to the battlefield, where he sees Zamasu. He realizes that Beerus and Whis' intuitions were right. Zamasu is involved somehow. Back on the battlefield, Trunks is stronger than his opponents, but it seems like Black is catching up to him, while Zamasu is taking the brunt of the damage for him. Not only that, Zamasu seems to be immortal as well, something the fallen Kaioshin begins to brag about, saying they are an unbeatable pair that will end all mortals. Gohan realizes Trunks will lose at this rate, and he has to think of something that can help. That's when he asks Supreme Kai a question. The Kai answers yes, but he doesn't see how that will help. Gohan begins to scan for a certain key, and once he feels it, he can set his plan in motion. He tells Shin to prepare to teleport twice, and he agrees. Gohan transforms into his ultimate form and jumps in between Goku Black, Zamasu, and Trunks. He quickly uses a solar flare and grabs Trunks, telling him to suppress his ki while he does. Gohan flies to Shin, who teleports them away. A few moments later, Goku Black and Zamasu regain their sight and begin to scan the Earth for their ki, but can't detect it. They assume they went back to the present and returned to their cabin to formulate a plan for their return. That's not what happened though. Gohan had Shin teleport them to one of the few remaining people on Earth, Muten Roshi. They quickly grab the old master and teleport to the realm of the Kaioshin, where Gohan asks Roshi to teach him the Mafuba. They should be safe for now in this separate space, so that should grant Gohan enough time to learn the technique. Master Roshi agrees, but can't believe the Mafuba of all things is required. Still, teaching begins. Supreme Kai creates any materials they need, including jars with seals written on them already. After less than a day of practice, Gohan is ready to use the technique against Zamasu. So Shin returns Gohan and Trunks to Earth. Roshi asks to stay in the realm of the Kaioshin till this is over, and Shin agrees, saying they'll both wait it out there. Now, Gohan and Trunks are back for round 2, and they intend to finish what they started. Trunks goes on an all-out assault on Goku Black, while Gohan removes Zamasu from their fight. Simultaneously, Trunks is able to defeat Goku Black with a final flash, while Gohan seals Zamasu away with the Mafuba. Together, the two Saiyans prove that mortals have the potential to surpass gods, and thus the power to write their own destinies. Supreme Kai and Roshi appear back on Earth immediately after the fighting is over. Trunks thanks Supreme Kai and Gohan for all their help, and Gohan tells Trunks it was no big deal, since he knows Trunks would do the same for them. Trunks begins to open his capsule case to give Gohan the time machine, but Gohan refuses. He says that Trunks might need that in the future, and Shin is more than capable of taking him back to the past. All Gohan has to do is wear a Potara earring on the same ear as Shin. With that, Gohan and Supreme Kai return to the present. Trunks falls to the ground and begins to cry once they're gone. The future was safe, but his mother is gone. Gohan is gone. Most of the people are gone. And even though he won, he failed. Roshi walks up to Trunks and puts his hand on his back. He tells Trunks that he's felt the same way before, failing his master long ago and seeing people he loved die. But they have to be strong now and rebuild. The time for mourning will come soon enough, but for now they must be strong. Trunks stands up and thanks Roshi. The two move forward to try and rebuild the world, or at least what remains of it. Back in the present timeline, Gohan and Shin tell everyone that it was Zamasu who caused the problems in the future, but Beerus tells them he already handled it. Beerus and Whis scouted the planet to make sure Zamasu didn't do anything suspicious and caught him trying to kill Gowasu, so Beerus ended him with a Hakai. This leads us to a long year of peace leading up to the Tournament of Power. Now, this may be shocking to some of you, but imagine the Tournament of Power, except Gohan just beats the piss out of everyone he fights. That's literally all that changes. Jiren would still be a gap requiring Ultra Instinct to overcome, and Goku unlocking it should still happen. Notably, Gohan would be around for the final fight with Jiren, as he would outclass Dispo in every way, but other than that, nothing actually changes. Universe 7 still wins, it's just easier than it was before. This takes us to our last story, of course, the Broly movie, where the biggest change is Gohan's involvement. Having a Gohan with so much power and training makes him actually relevant in this movie, but not to face down Broly. Instead, he focuses on Frieza. While the battle against Broly goes fairly normally, Gohan takes care of Frieza before he can kill Paragus. At that point in the fight, Ikari, Broly, and Goku are evenly matched, and Broly even seems to be well aware of what's happening, even so far as enjoying the fight. This leads to Broly settling down eventually, and Paragus begging for forgiveness, which is ultimately given. Goku tells them that they can live on Earth should they desire, and Broly asks if Chilai and Lemo can stay too. Paragus is about to refuse, but Broly glares at him. A look that says, "You're not in control any longer." With Broly on Earth and Gohan having seen the rage and power he has, Gohan can't help but see himself in Broly. Timid and possibly only enjoying fighting for fun, not violence, they seem like kindred spirits. So Gohan decides he wants to help Broly. Perhaps together they can control the wild, rage-induced power he has lying within him, so that way he doesn't accidentally hurt someone in the future. And that's where our story ends for now. Of course, Broly being on Earth and learning to control his power will cause changes going forward, but I know people don't want Moreau spoilers, so we'll just end it there for now. Everyone returns to their normal lives, and the universe is better without Frieza in it. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't yet. Only 20% of you are subscribed, don't forget. And thank you so very much for watching.